If every Hashira awakened their mark, most of them would die anyway, because this power comes with a hidden cost, one that changes everything. Would Rengoku survive, or burn out even faster? For this story to work, something has to change right from the start. Tanjiro wouldn't be normal. He'd be this timeline's Yoriichi. And from the very beginning, something feels off. Subtle at first, until the moment he's tested by a Hashira. On the surface, nothing seems different at all. Just quiet days in the mountains, a peaceful life with his family, until that night when Muzan attacks. Nezuko survives just like before, and Tanjiro finds her, carries her through the snow, eventually crossing paths with Giyu. Up to this point, everything plays out the same. Giyu tries to kill Nezuko, and Tanjiro steps in to protect her. But this time, he's not the same boy. He reacts faster and moves with precision, and for a moment, he actually keeps up with a Hashira. Tanjiro grabs his axe and attacks just like before, but now he lasts longer than he should. His timing is sharper and his instincts more refined, but in the end, experience still wins. Giyu shuts him down, clean and decisive. That's when Nezuko steps in, protecting him like before. But Giyu notices something. Not just her loyalty, the mark on Tanjiro's forehead isn't normal. And this is where it shifts, because that mark isn't just a scar. It unlocks abilities most Hashira never reach, like the selfless state and the transparent world. And that changes everything. Instead of killing Nezuko, he sends them to Urokodaki, and from there, training begins. But this time, Tanjiro isn't starting from zero, he's already ahead. In the original story, when Urokodaki gives Tanjiro his warding mask, there's a small detail most people miss. A sun-breathing emblem is carved into the mask, which could mean Urokodaki already knew about Tanjiro's heritage. It sounds unlikely, but when you think about it, it actually makes sense. Urokodaki was a former Hashira, so he would have known about sun-breathing and the Demon Slayer mark. After seeing Tanjiro's mark, he likely doesn't stay silent. He reports it, sending a message to the Demon Slayer Corps, informing Kagaya. From there, the story continues, but at a much faster pace. Training still happens, but because Tanjiro is stronger in this timeline, he masters water breathing in just a few days. And when he meets Sabito and Makomo, there's no real struggle. He defeats Sabito easily and slices the boulder without any struggle. And Tanjiro reaches final selection much earlier. The hand demon appears, but it's not a fight. Tanjiro defeats it easily, finally allowing Sabito and Makomo to rest. From here, the story follows a similar path, just faster. Tanjiro and Nezuko face the swamp demon and deal with it quickly. Yahaba and Susumaru are defeated without much trouble. This leads into the Tsuzumi mansion, where they meet Zenitsu and Inosuke. Together, they defeat Kyogai, rescue the children, and move forward. But this is where something changes again. When Inosuke tries to attack Nezuko, Tanjiro uses the selfless state and knocks him out effortlessly. At this point in the story, Tanjiro still has no idea he's connected to sun-breathing, and that only changes once he reaches Mount Nadagumo. Everything plays out just like the original timeline, right up until his fight with Rui. But this time, the outcome is different. Because Tanjiro is stronger, he defeats Rui quickly with only minor injuries. Because he's never pushed to his limits, he doesn't awaken sun-breathing, and Nezuko doesn't unlock her blood demon art. That alone is a massive shift. After Rui's defeat, Tanjiro and Nezuko are taken to headquarters, where they meet the Hashira. Just like before, they question him, arguing over why he's traveling with a demon. Sanemi steps in and harms Nezuko, but this time, Tanjiro doesn't just react. He keeps up with Sanemi's attacks and even lands clean, controlled blows. That changes everything. Because now, the Hashira aren't just angry, they're confused. Kagaya explains the mark and how it traces back to Yoriichi, the one man who brought Muzan to the brink of death. With that in mind, he makes a decision. Tanjiro is placed under Rengoku's care to begin working towards sun-breathing, since flame-breathing shares some similarities. At first, the Hashira don't approve, and even Rengoku has doubts. But Kagaya's words and the weight of that history change their minds. So training begins. Under Rengoku's guidance, Tanjiro starts working towards sun-breathing. He can't access it yet since flame-breathing isn't the same, but he quickly masters the fundamentals. After this, Tanjiro, Rengoku, Zenitsu, and Inosuke are sent to the Mugen train, and this is where everything shifts. The beginning plays out the same. Everyone falls asleep under Enmu's blood demon art, but once they break free, the fight ends quickly. With the transparent world, Tanjiro instantly locates Enmu's main body, leads Inosuke straight to it, and they kill him almost immediately. No struggle, no delay. More importantly, Tanjiro avoids the stab wound from the conductor, which means when Akaza arrives, he's at full strength. Once Enmu falls, Akaza appears, appears. Zenitsu, Nezuko, and Inosuke try to help, but they're taken out immediately. They're simply not strong enough for this fight, so it comes down to Tanjiro and Rengoku. And this time, Akaza doesn't hold back. Both are pushed to their limits. Every strike they land is met with instant regeneration, and the fight drags on long enough for something to change. In the middle of that battle, Tanjiro remembers his father and the Hinokami Kagura. Tanjiro unlocks sun breathing, and at the same time, Rengoku awakens his mark. Together, they launch a relentless assault. Their attacks overwhelm Akaza's regeneration, and before he can react, they cut off his head, and for a moment, it's over. But then Akaza rises. His head reattaches, and everything falls apart again. They're stunned, but before they can react, Akaza senses it. Sunrise. Realizing he can't win, he retreats into the forest. Because Rengoku survives, everything changes. He never becomes a donut, and with the Demon Slayer mark, he's far stronger. Which means in the final battle, he isn't a memory, he's a major asset. And the fight with Akaza doesn't go unnoticed. Because Tanjiro and Rengoku nearly beheaded him, the news spreads quickly, reaching Muzan. And when Muzan hears it, he's furious. Back at headquarters, the Hashira gather to discuss the Demon Slayer mark and how Rengoku awakened his. He explains everything, and from there, the story follows a familiar path, with one major difference. Tanjiro is far stronger now, and he has sun breathing. After recovering, he continues training under Rengoku, studying the Rengoku family archives while refining sun breathing. From there, he's sent to the Entertainment District arc with Zenitsu, Inosuke, and Tengen. They infiltrate the district just like before, but this time, it doesn't take long. With the transparent world, Tanjiro detects Daki's location immediately and rushes in alone, cutting off her head effortlessly. As it falls, Gyutaro appears. Even with sun breathing, Tanjiro can't defeat him alone. The poison and Gyutaro's fighting style are still too much, but he holds him off long enough. Tengen, Zenitsu, and Inosuke join the fight. During the battle, Tengen awakens his Demon Slayer mark, and from that moment, the fight shifts completely, creating the opening for Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke to finish off Daki. Together, they defeat the siblings quickly. And because of that, Nezuko never changes. She doesn't awaken a blood demon art, and never goes berserk like in the original story. Because Tengen awakens his Demon Slayer mark, he survives the fight and walks away with minimal injuries, unlike in the original timeline, and his retirement is where things really change. Originally, Tengen planned to step down after defeating an upper rank, wanting to live peacefully with his wives. But even during the Hashira training arc, he still wanted to support the core, and was frustrated about leaving the fight behind. Now, that decision shifts completely. He didn't just defeat an upper rank, he awakened the Demon Slayer mark. So when Kagaya hears the news, he asks Tengen to stay and help defeat Muzan, and this time, Tengen agrees. With both Rengoku and Tengen alive and marked, the Demon Slayer Corps now has multiple top-tier fighters heading into the final battle. When Muzan hears this, he doesn't wait. He attacks earlier. Back at headquarters, Tanjiro is recognized for his accomplishments, and soon, the story moves into the Swordsmith Village arc. At first, things seem familiar. Tanjiro and Muichiro interact, and everything feels calm, until Han Tengu appears. The moment he attacks, Muichiro is sent flying, and Tanjiro is immediately overwhelmed by multiple clones. Even with his strength, fighting all of them at once starts to push him to his limits, and he begins taking serious damage. Seeing Tanjiro pushed to his limits, Nezuko finally snaps and unleashes her blood demon art, burning through the clones and shifting the fight in their favor. Genya arrives soon after, joining the battle, and together, they hold the demons off until Mitsuri appears. Once Mitsuri joins, the fight escalates again, and working together, they eventually defeat Han Tengu. Just like in the original timeline, Mitsuri awakens her Demon Slayer mark. At the same time, Muichiro fights Gyoko alone and awakens his as well. But something important happens right after this. Quick shout out to Cursed Child for supporting the channel. If you want to be next, comment, I subbed. Watch this. When the Infinity Castle appears, everything shifts. The corpse now has 4 Hashira with awakened Demon Slayer marks, making them far stronger than in the original timeline. Their combined strength starts to resemble the Sengoku era, the golden age of demon slayers, and that changes what comes next. When the Infinity Castle appears, everything shifts. Tanjiro, Rengoku, and Tengen face Akaza together. From the start, the fight is brutal, with Akaza going all out, but this time, he's not in control. With 3 marked slayers fighting in sync, the battle becomes far more even. Tanjiro pushes deeper into sun breathing, while Rengoku and Tengen unleash the full power of their marks. Together, they overwhelm Akaza, and this time, he's killed for good, ending a fight that once cost them a Hashira. At the same time, Giyu and Shinobu take on Doma. The fight is fast, brutal, and relentless. forcing them to their limits. In that moment, both awaken their Demon Slayer marks, with Shinobu's appearing as a butterfly symbol on her cheek. Their coordination pushes Doma to the edge. Just as the fight reaches its peak, Inosuke and Kanao arrive, shifting the balance completely. Together, they overwhelm Doma and finally bring him down. Something that once required sacrifice now ends in victory. At this point, the balance of the war has already shifted, and Muzan is losing. With Doma defeated much faster, the remaining Slayers regroup to support the others against Kokushibo. Even among upper ranks, he's something else entirely. With the transparent world and moon breathing, he pushes every Hashira to their limits. But this time, they aren't falling apart. With perfect coordination and their marks already awakened, the tide begins to turn. During the battle, Gyome awakens his mark, meaning every Hashira now carries it. After a long, brutal fight, they finally behead Kokushibo. With Akaza, Doma, and Kokushibo gone, the entire Hashira squad stands united for the final battle against Muzan. But unlike before, they aren't broken or exhausted. They're stronger than ever. The fight is still brutal, but it doesn't last long. With every Hashira marked and Tanjiro leading the charge, Muzan is overwhelmed and killed for good. Muzan never turns Tanjiro into a demon. The curse of the Demon Slayer mark was tied to Muzan, so when he dies, it disappears. Even Gyome, who would have suffered the most, survives despite his injuries. For the first time, the Hashira are able to live peaceful lives. Giyu and Shinobu find peace together. Obanai and Mitsuri get the love they were denied, and Rengoku stands as a symbol of hope. Muichiro survives. Tengen lives freely with his wives, and Tanjiro finally gets the life he wanted. For the first time, they don't lose each other along the way. Tanjiro ends up with Kanao, Zenitsu with Nezuko, and Inosuke with Aoi, all of them finally able to live the lives they fought for. In this version, the Hashira are stronger than ever. But what happens when they're replaced entirely? What if Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke become the new Hashira? Click this video, see how that changes everything.